What are your thoughts about women are creating a future of leadership, opportunity, and empowerment?
Um, I think women are trying. I get it. They are trying. You know what I mean? They trying to deal with the world with the hand that they were dealt. But the problem, and Shan kind of alluded to this, is you can't do that without your man. And you can't do that while putting down and simultaneously put down your man or weaponize it against your man. That's where the problem comes into play. Or you do it in spite of your man. Because all the other like if we look at all the other communities, they do with. So when everybody else is getting educated, they're getting educated with. Trev, do your wife have a higher education?
Yes.
Bruiser? Mine's tried, but she a hairstylist and I'm a barber, so it wasn't for lack of trying. But we don't have a problem with our women getting educated. The problem is when you do it to spite the men that you're supposed to be with. When you're saying, I'm going to do this so that I don't have to deal with you. That's where we draw the line at. That's why your education doesn't matter to us. Because you're telling me that the only reason why you're getting it is to be away from me.
Or leverage it.
Or leverage it against me. You're absolutely right. Go get your education. And he's going to go get certified in plumbing or some shit like that. And you're going to become a school teacher or whatever y'all do with y'all education. School teachers get with plumbers all the time. Get a business degree and become that's an expensive secretarial degree. But I mean, hey, do you, but you're supposed to do you alongside your men. You cannot, there is no getting ahead that y'all can't leapfrog us or try to leave us behind or any of that because it inherently does not work. Not because I'm telling y'all the job, but it just doesn't work. Just like we can't get forward without y'all. Because without y'all, there's no children. Without y'all, there's no family. Without us, there's no protection. Without us, there's no family. Without us, there's no children. Without us, there's no growth. So her talk champion, and I think Amir said it, it sounds as if, again, and Cheyenne Bryant kills me sometimes, but you're saying it again in spite of men. Just like on that show where she said black women are running circles around black men. Because we decided not to go to college? Because we decided, hey, I'm gonna go be an electrician, or I'll go be a mechanic, because I chose that, and you chose your a degree in education or whatever. I don't know exactly what women are choosing their degrees in. Well, because you chose your degree in that means that you're running circles around me? Because I chose a trade and you chose a degree? We both in the same boat regardless. You make $50-some thousand off of your degree. I make $50-some thousand off of my goddamn trade. And hopefully, you know what I mean? Shout out to Shan, she a school teacher. Hopefully one day she becomes an administrator. And then, she don't want to do that. But you progress and then I progress. But if you're going to try to go it alone, then your degree means jack shit to us. That's why we say that. Your education means jack shit to us if you're going to go it alone.
Oh my gosh, Sweeney, you worded that so well. If you want to go at it alone, it means nothing to us.
And
I think that sorry.
Oh no, I'm done.
I think that people, and that's the thing, like we gotta have real conversation. People are not doing it alone. They just not getting married. This is the problem. People keep saying it ain't nobody. If you talk to people in the streets and you speak to, more than likely, you go to a girl, she's already talking to somebody. You talk to men, he's talking to somebody. They're just not getting married. The bigger question is, why are y'all in these long relationships doing whatever you're doing and you're not getting married? We don't value marriage. That's the real issue here. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing else. We don't value marriage. Our race of people, for whatever reason, we don't value marriage. That's where the real problem.
I argue that we value it too much.
because people will have a baby before they get married because they'll say a marriage is too much of a commitment.
Well, or they look at it as a burden, right? They look at it as a bigger responsibility. But then again, there it is. It's still a value. It's like you don't want it enough to even take on the responsibility of it. I'd rather do without.
Or you hold it in such high esteem that you don't want to mess it up. People that mess up having multiple children fathers, but they don't want to get married and have a divorce. I think they feel that's a bigger mark against them than anything. From what I've heard, people who discussed having a baby and having, because they got a couple of different people that go and interview people on the street, and they're like, would you rather have, what's more of a commitment to you, a marriage or a baby? And the people all say a marriage.
And like, were these younger people, like 30s and younger?
They were 35 and down.
Yeah, and I think it's within that generation where marriage is not as important. And since the men are the ones that would have to propose the marriage to begin with, I think a lot of men nowadays who are 35 and younger, for one, don't want to be married because they see the burden, I guess, that comes along with being married. They don't feel that a lot of women are marriage material, and they don't feel ready for marriage. I feel that a lot of men, and this goes back to the education thing. Yes, a lot of men could go out and get trades instead of going to school, but they're not, it's men that aren't doing that either. They don't know what they want to do. And instead of trying to figure that out, they spend a lot of their time being lost, even up until their 30s. So I feel our generation isn't even thinking about marriage until they get to their 40s or 50s. That's when they finally feel like they've made it to that place where they are finally an adult and can make adult decisions like marrying someone.
So Ty, the reason why I brought up the trades, right? Because this is not to say, because most black people, also most black men, most black women don't go to college either. That's a fact. However, if I was to make an argument for who a woman who is educated at least at a bachelor's degree level, who is her socioeconomic equivalent, it would be the man that goes to trade school. So that's why I brought it up. Most black folks are just working regular ass jobs. They work in customer service, the UPS, the post office, Amazon. You know, they're doing those type of things, or they you know what I mean. But and that's men and women across the board, and most men are just are doing some of the same jobs, or they, you know what I mean, they work at the you know, the jobs that pay anywhere between like $50 and maybe $25 an hour. But if you talked about educated women, if I had to put you with somebody and I said, this is your socioeconomic equivalent, it would either be somebody that you're in college with, which would be on your socioeconomic level, or a man that is choosing to go to trade school and he's choosing to be an electrician or a plumber or what else am I thinking of? Construction worker or some shit like that.
Yeah, but you could argue that that's a form of education, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Not to go to college, but a trade is education.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
So to piggyback on what you're saying, if you look at the stats, even when it comes to trades, people, just because he walk around looking like a plumber don't make him a plumber. Most people are handyman. Okay, they don't want to go through the journey, go through the 4 year, because that's a 4 year process. We're not gonna sit here and knock plumbers and master electricians, because that program itself takes about 4 years, and people are not finishing that program either. If you look at how many master plumbers, how many master electricians there are, it's not. Those are people who work for master plumbers, work for master electricians. Those aren't master plumbers and electricians. And that's where the problem comes, right? You know, it's like, okay, we don't mind trade, but are you willing to finish that program? Are you doing that program? Or are you working for somebody and he's getting the money and he's just paying you because he's showing you how to do the trade? It's not the same.
I agree.
And that's not to say anything, you know, do what you have to do. But going back to what I was saying, you know, I'm so tired of people putting all of this just on women. Let me just tell you this, and I get it because it's a woman's fault. Because what I see women on here, a man done broke your heart. I don't need a man, blah 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 blah. But you do, you want one. Most women, I'm gonna tell you now, if she's sleeping with you, she really does want you. For the most part, you may have a few hoochie mamas, maybe but for the most part, if a woman is down for you, she can sit here and be like, and I'm okay with this, I'm okay with that. But y'all know them women we want to be in relationships with y'all. They do. Nobody
not always.
listen to me. Nobody sitting here doing all that for you, cleaning up your house, doing your laundry, checking up on you, driving by your house in an unmarked car, and she don't want to be with you. Come on now. She wants to be with you. You just not
that's
ready for
different.
a commitment. You're not ready to be with her. Let's call a spade a spade.
Shan, that doesn't mean that she's a wife, because men know a wife and they see
I didn't
one.
say that, Amira. I didn't say she was a wife. But what I'm saying to you is, don't act like these women are not trying to be with you. If there's something wrong with her, then you'd have a conversation. Just like we're having this conversation, like she can sit here and tell you what's wrong with you. You need to go and tell her the same thing. Don't play like she's wifey, and all along you know you don't want to be with her. Say, these are the things I need to see in you, or it's just not going to happen because you don't possess the wifey material. That's not what's taking place.
Shan, isn't that what the men in the ministry have been doing for like 5 years?
I'm talking about in your relationship, not a podcast. I'm talking about people, individual, when they're in a relationship with people, they need to have honest conversations.
So Sharon, real quick, do you think it's more of an issue of women not understanding what men want? I mean, it's pretty easy. Most men will tell you and they'll articulate what they want. Or do you think it's an issue of women not being willing to do what these men want, these wifely qualities?
Let me tell you this. I don't know about men, but I know when I see a woman who is in love with a man, she's willing to do anything he wants her to do. If you have them, I think we've all, think about your personal experience.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm so tired of y'all thinking like all women supposed to cater to one man. No, I'm talking about the woman in your life. When you are with a woman, you know when a woman is feeling you. She is doing anything you need her to do. She will bend over backwards for you. You know when a woman is in love with you. And men have, the thing about it is all men, it's not one size fits all. Bruce's wife is going to be totally different from your wife. Y'all all got different needs, right? But I'm going to tell you this. If she's feeling you and you come to her and you say, these are the things I need from you, she's going to make it happen if she's feeling you like that.
So could that be the reason why women aren't willing to do it? Maybe they're not feeling the guys that they have access to so much.
Now that will be a sign that you probably need to move
in
on.
that case, would it be the man wasting the woman's time or the woman wasting the man's time? So I think that's an issue, right? When women get with a dude, why be in a relationship with a dude? Why have a situationship or anything if you're not willing to do everything that you just explained, like bend over backwards, all that, like. Women aren't willing to do that because maybe they get with a guy who they don't respect enough, who they don't who admire enough, who they're not into enough. And they feel like they're settling a lot of times because women do have these high expectations of men. So they might be settling with a dude and they're not willing to do that. And if people are lacking, then men are probably not going to want to have them as their wife.
And let me just
it goes both ways, though.
Oh, sorry. It does go both ways. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be quiet. I'm gonna be quiet.
All right.
Think about
it does. Go ahead.
In a dating situation, women do not win in dating situations. You sitting here giving this man all your time, your youth, your body, and what do you get in return? He's getting what he wants. You don't get what you want. Okay. So dating does not work well for women. I think it was Amira who mentioned one of these other episodes about the triflingness of dating. She don't even understand why we do it. I would agree. It's very trifling. At the end of the day, you're not winning anything. You are still single. He has wasted your time and your body. You wanted a commitment. He wanted sex. He got the sex. You did not get the commitment. When are we going to figure it out? If we're not winning this, we're losing. If we're so smart, I don't know why we haven't figured that part out.